In today's video, we unbox VOR The Maelstrom, FASA Corporation's 1999 sci-fi tabletop miniatures game featuring awesome pewter minis from Ral Partha. Well, hi folks, this is Lee from skirmishwargames.com. Welcome to the channel. I'm here with Lynn.
Hello.
So yeah, technically this is the latest installment in our Countdown to Stargrave series, but in actuality I think we're just having fun pulling out of production games off the shelf and kind of going through the boxes. So this is a 1999 box set for VOR The Maelstrom from FASA Corporation, and we only learned about this because one of our viewers, a guy named RC, left a comment on one of our videos and asked, had we ever heard of it? And I never had, so I did a Google search, and some third-party vendor on Amazon was selling one for $40 plus free shipping. Now, we don't need any more games, but I wanted to see what was inside. So I plunked down my $40 plus tax. So we're going to look at VOR The Maelstrom today, and will this be the end of our Countdown to Stargrave series? Maybe not, because in rooting around downstairs the other day, I found another game on the shelf that's kind of interesting. So maybe we'll squeak in one more before we wrap this series up. So Lynn, what do you think of that crazy artwork there?
I like it. I hope there's some of those guys inside.
Yeah, I believe there actually are some of those guys in here, and I think they're called growlers. And the miniatures in the photos here are apparently actual size, so these are going to be pretty big. So as I said earlier, this is a product of FASA Corporation, which was a publisher of RPGs, war games, and board games from 1980 through about 2001, according to Wikipedia. And some of their products included BattleTech, Shadowrun, and Crimson Skies, so they were involved in some pretty big IPs, actually. So from what I read, the company ceased producing its own games around 2001 and sort of pivoted to selling and licensing its intellectual property to other companies like WizKids. So some of those properties like BattleTech and Crimson Skies are actually developed into video games, right?
Yes, they were.
And so I hope that the original game designers got a decent payday out of that. And then kind of checking around online, I found there is a more recent incarnation of the company, maybe a spin-off called FASA Games, which right now is publishing RPGs such as Earth Dawn and 1879. So they are still plugging away. If these growler miniatures are indeed actual size, they're going to be pretty hefty. And they kind of look like a cross between a giant gorilla and a T-Rex. And this kind of makes me think of Barsoom or something like that with the white apes, even though there were no colonial marines on Barsoom. All right, let's quickly read the back of the box. That'll give you a sense of what the game is all about. And then we'll open this up and see what's in here. And apparently, we're going to get terrain pieces, rules and such, and then miniatures from Ral Partha. Now, Ral Partha has been around a long time, since the mid-70s at least. And I know that the name and production assets have changed hands a few times over the years, but the brand still exists today as Ral Partha Legacy. So we actually have some classic 25mm sculpts right here that I'll show you. So these are some actual miniatures that I bought in the late 70s to early 80s. Most of these are from the 70s. And the thing about Ral Partha was a lot of minis from that time period were pretty rough, like the archive figures we showed you in the last video were a little clunky. But Ral Partha was always pretty clean, and if you see here, like this sea elf here, they actually gave you a steel rod to use as the spear shaft. So other mini companies might give you just a lead spear, which would bend and everything like that. But Ral Partha actually gave you a nice piece of metal to put the spear tip on. So that was pretty cool. Here's our time-traveling Cadian, so you can kind of see the scale. So these little guys here are true 25mm, I think. This happy fellow here is the Angel of Death, which is why he's taller than most. Here's a fire giant. Here's a little wolf for you, Lynn.
Yay.
And this is a Lord of the Rings type orc here. So yeah, that's Ral Partha. So they've been making good stuff for a long, long time. And if you remember our Star Rovers video that we just did, in there we looked at a 1978 copy of the Dragon magazine, and I think the inside front cover was actually an ad for Ral Partha. So even back in the 70s, the quality was exceptional. So I'm sure that the quality in that box set we're going to look at is going to be pretty good. And just like that Star Rovers box set we looked at in the last video, This copy of VOR here is still in the shrink wrap, which is kind of nuts because it's been 22 years now. Let's go ahead and crack it out of the seal and see what's in VOR The Maelstrom from FASA Corporation. We're going to unbox like it's 1999. Yeah, I think $40 was an exceptional price for this. And even if we never play the game with the number of figures in here and the terrain pieces, I think this is probably going to be a pretty good investment. So let me just quickly...
He may join my crew.
He may join your Stargrave crew. Well, all right. I don't see him rocking any kind of a gun there, but...
He's got smashy fists.
Smashy fists, or he spits acid or something. Okay, I'm going to read the back of the box and learn about the Maelstrom. Its origin unimaginable, its hunger insatiable, its power immeasurable. The Maelstrom is a cosmic vortex of vast proportions, a realm where the laws of physics are warped and twisted into an obscene parody of reality. It exists only to devour and destroy. The Maelstrom consumes worlds. Within a swirling storm of chaos, planets are ripped asunder or fused into strange alien landscapes. The survivors of these doomed worlds struggle to live in a savage, unstable environment. So apparently the Maelstrom, the vortex, sucks in planets and kind of fuses them together, so you get all of these different races sort of struggling for survival in this amalgam. Growlers, hulking beasts of pure aggression, thrive in the hostile environments of the Maelstrom. Their strength and ferocity rank them among its most lethal inhabitants. The mysterious Psyche meld technology and supernatural power into the deadliest of martial arts. The Union forces of Earth rely on high-tech weaponry and well-trained soldiers, while their neo-Soviet rivals send fierce hordes of infantry and genetic mutations against their foes. These are but a few of those trapped by the Maelstrom, each seeking to conquer, triumph, and endure. So VOR The Maelstrom is a fast-paced tabletop miniatures game set in the twisted realm of the Maelstrom. This box set contains everything you need to play. Features include a fast-playing, detailed miniatures combat system, flexible game mechanics that apply equally to both skirmish games and large-scale battles, conversion rules for using any miniatures to play VOR The Maelstrom, that's interesting, profiles for 9 of the most important races, basic force listings, and metal miniatures crafted in lead-free pewters. These should be pretty nice. Contents: 1 rulebook, 16-page scenario book, 9 Union miniatures, 1 Growler Bull miniature, that's probably this big guy, 3 Growler One-Horn miniatures, 3 Growler Pup miniatures, 5 plastic terrain walls, 3 plastic templates, and 2 10-sided dice. So, yeah, I'm psyched. Ral Partha has always been a favorite of mine, so I'm sure these are going to be pretty clean. And if that's the actual scale, this is a huge miniature, so let's see if that's accurate. All right, shall we? So, VOR The Maelstrom from 1999. Okay. Wow. That's the minis right there. All right, so this is a little squished. That's okay. So here's some expansion packs, apparently. Neo-Soviets. The Psyche, Close Combat Warrior. And there's an armored battlesuit of some type. Expand your Growler force while supplies last. Offer expires March 31, 2000. Yeah, the cover art on this box set was pretty cool, as is the cover art on the book, the rule book here. Cheat sheet. So what's that, about 131 pages? So let's see, what are the major factions? The Union, Neo-Soviets, Growlers, Psyche, the Shard, the Pharaon, the Mashers, the Golems, and the Siru. So the first part of the book was black and white, and then we get in here and now here's some really good color plates. So there's the Union. The Neo-Soviets, so mutants and waves of human soldiers, apparently. Yeah, this is nuts. There's a Neo-Soviet guy. The Growlers. He looks like a giant pumpkin there. There's a blue Growler. The Psyche. So they use technology and sorcery, apparently.
And they're very skinny.
He's looking kind of like Earthworm Jim there. The Shard. It says here, these are energy beings who had to take on crystal form to survive the Maelstrom, and they're kind of bent out of shape about it. The Pharaon looked like kind of a mashup between Necrons and Tomb Kings. So techno mummies, I guess. You ever listen to a lot of Iron Maiden?
No.
Not a big Iron Maiden fan? The Mashers. So that looks like some kind of technologically enhanced Neanderthal there. Spider legs.
Those guys are kind of creepy.
Here, buddy. I'm going to give you some spider legs. And the Siru, what are those? They're like blue dwarves.
Those are kind of cool. I like them.
Plus, they're bikers. Look, it's a blue space dwarf on a jet bike.
Even better.
Even better. And a color plate of some of the minis available. Oh, that shows the back of one of the growlers. You see that?
Oh, cool.
So there's big growlers, medium-sized growlers, and little growlers. So that is the VOR The Maelstrom Rulebook. And I'm sure it has similarities to other games and a few unique twists. But the trope of taking multiple civilizations and sort of mashing them together in a pocket universe is a pretty good idea because it just frees you up. You're not stuck with any one type of troop. You can pluck from anything in the universe. Okay, so that is our rulebook. Here's the mail order form, and as you can see, Battletech, Shadowrun, novels, VOR, Crimson Skies down here. So they were into a lot of stuff and created some very popular IPs that continue to this day. So good for them. All right, let's look at some minis, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's that, terrain pieces?
Yeah.
We can open that first.
Because they're all, looks like they're all the same.
Yeah, they gave us a bunch of walls.
Those might be fun in Stargrave, though.
Yeah, absolutely. We only get one design, but we get a bunch of them. So these could be easily painted up and added to our collection of sci-fi barriers and scenery. So here's Acadian for a sense of scale. So he's going to have to jump up and climb through if he's going to get to that iris door there. All right, let's open up our box of pewter minis. Here is an arm. Arcadian stumbles upon the arm of some massive beast, and he wonders if the owner is still around. A couple of dice. So yeah, these are gigantic chunks of pewter. They weren't skimping on the metal. These are some of the larger pewter minis I think I've seen, actually. And we got our Union soldiers. So what did we end up getting? 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9. So 9 Union soldiers and then a bunch of growlers in various sizes. I think 7 growlers altogether, right?
Mm-hmm.
1 big one, 3 medium, and 3 small. So as far as we can tell, this might be our giant growler here. So yeah, he'd been working out. He's been hitting the gym during the pandemic. So he is ready to go to battle. Here's a trio of our Union soldiers here, and they are more or less Acadian sized, maybe a little bit bulkier, but the height is about the same. There is a medium growler. And where's one of the little ones?
The baby ones, I like them.
And then there's a tiny one.
I like the tiny ones.
That is a feisty growler pup. All right, well, like we said, that is an awful lot of pewter to include in a box set. And the soldiers are fine for a Marine cast in pewter.
Lots of detailed gear on him.
Yeah, a lot of gear on them. I suppose if you were fighting in the Maelstrom, you want to make sure you have plenty of ammunition so you don't have to go after a growler with your combat knife. So that is one of our Union troopers. And that's what he looks like next to one of the Emperor's finest. All right, folks, that is our epic unboxing of the 1999 VOR The Maelstrom box set from FASA Corporation. Yeah, that guy there better run. Either stand and fight or run like heck. He must be out of ammunition. So, Lynn, what'd you think?
I like it.
Are you going to paint some little growlers?
I am.
And a big growler?
Growler pups are a definite.
So, yeah, there they are. Cute but vicious. My concern with something like this, though, is if you put growler pups on one of your war bands and I accidentally squish one, you're going to be mad at me.
Yes, I will.
See, that's not fair. There's an emotional cost to me killing one of your creatures.
Well, maybe I will just take a pup and put him on my desk.
Oh, okay, you can do that, sure. If you don't want to send him into battle, absolutely, he can be your pet. And like I said, will this be the end of our Countdown to Stargrave series? And I think probably not. I think there's one last thing that I found rooting around downstairs that we might show off here in the next few days. But until that time, folks, thanks very much for stopping by. As always, if you like the things we do, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please give this video a big thumbs up. And of course, please visit us online on our website, skirmishwargames.com.